The air was thick with anticipation. The early morning light cast a golden hue over the ancient cobblestones of St. Peter's Square. People from all walks of life, from different corners of the globe, had gathered here, united by a common purpose. The atmosphere was electric, charged with a sense of history in the making. As the first rays of the sun began to peek over the horizon, the crowd grew silent, their collective breath held in suspense. A hush fell over St. Peter's Square. The vast expanse of the plaza, usually bustling with activity, was now a sea of stillness. The only sound was the soft rustling of leaves in the gentle morning breeze. It was as if the entire world had paused, waiting for a momentous announcement. The silence was profound, almost sacred, as if the very stones of the square were holding their breath. Millions around the world held their breath. In homes, churches, and public squares across the globe, people were glued to their screens, their eyes fixed on the unfolding events in Vatican City. The anticipation was palpable, a shared experience that transcended borders and languages. It was a moment of unity, of collective hope and expectation. A new dawn was breaking for the Catholic Church. The first light of day bathed the majestic dome of St. Peter's Basilica in a warm golden glow. It was a symbol of renewal, of new beginnings. The Church, with its centuries-old traditions and deep-rooted history, was on the cusp of a significant transformation. The dawn of a new era was upon them. Pope Francis, the People's Pontiff, was stepping down. His decision had sent shockwaves through the Catholic community. Known for his humility, compassion, and progressive views, Pope Francis had touched the hearts of millions. His papacy had been marked by efforts to bring the Church closer to the people, to address contemporary issues with empathy and understanding. His departure was both a moment of sorrow and reflection. The weight of his papacy, the immense responsibility had taken its toll. Leading the world's 1.3 billion Catholics was no small feat. The challenges he faced, both within the Church and in the broader world, were immense. From addressing scandals to advocating for social justice, Pope Francis had borne the weight of his role with grace and determination. But the years had taken their toll, and it was clear that the time had come for him to pass the mantle. His health, frail for years, had finally given way. The signs had been there for some time, the occasional use of a cane, the moments of visible fatigue. Despite his best efforts to continue his duties, it was evident that his physical condition was deteriorating. The decision to step down was not made lightly, but it was a necessary one for the good of the Church and its followers. Yet there was a sense of peace, of history unfolding as it should. The faithful gathered in St. Peter's Square and around the world understood the gravity of the moment. There was a collective sense of acceptance, of trust in the divine plan. Prayers were whispered, candles were lit, and hearts were united in a shared sense of purpose. It was a moment of transition, but also one of hope. For in his place rose a man poised to carry the Church forward, a beacon of hope for the future. The announcement of the new pontiff was met with cheers and applause. The faithful looked to the future with renewed optimism, believing that the new leader would continue the work of his predecessor, while also bringing his own unique vision and strengths to the role. A man of deep faith and even deeper compassion, Pope Tagle. Known for his warmth, humility, and dedication to social justice, Pope Tagle was seen as a natural successor to Pope Francis. His deep connection with the people, his ability to listen and empathize, and his unwavering commitment to the teachings of Christ made him a beloved figure. As he greeted the crowd, there was a palpable sense of hope and excitement. The dawn of a new era had truly begun. The papacy is a heavy mantle. It rests on the shoulders of one man, but it carries the hopes and burdens of over 1 billion souls. Pope Francis, the first Jesuit pope, had borne that weight with grace and humility. He had ushered in an era of dialogue and openness. He had championed the poor and marginalized. He had challenged the Church to confront its past mistakes. His papacy had been a beacon of hope in a world increasingly shrouded in darkness. From the moment he had uttered the words, "Pray for me," Pope Francis had captivated the world. His humility was disarming, his embrace of the marginalized, revolutionary. He washed the feet of prisoners. He embraced those suffering from leprosy. He spoke out against social injustice and environmental destruction. He reminded the world of the power of love, forgiveness, and compassion. Yet even the strongest shepherd needs rest. Pope Francis's declining health had been a source of concern for years. His hospitalization in early 2025, his longest yet, had been a wake-up call. The world watched with bated breath as he battled pneumonia and kidney issues. The fight had taken its toll. The decision to step down, though difficult, was an act of selflessness. It was a recognition that the Church needed a leader with the strength to guide it through the challenges ahead, from Manila to the Vatican. In the heart of the Philippines, a young Luis Antonio Tagle felt the call to serve God. Growing up in a bustling city like Manila, he was surrounded by the vibrant culture and deep-rooted faith of the Filipino people. The streets of Manila, with their mix of modernity and tradition, played a significant role in shaping his early years. It was here, amidst the daily hustle and the serene moments of prayer, that his spiritual journey began. Born into humble beginnings, he possessed a brilliant mind and an even bigger heart. His family, though not wealthy, instilled in him the values of hard work, compassion, and faith. As a young boy, Luis was often seen helping his neighbors, always with a smile on his face. His love for reading and learning was evident early on, and he would often be found with a book in hand, eager to absorb knowledge and wisdom. He rose through the ranks of the Church, his wisdom and compassion evident in every role he undertook. From his early days as a young priest, he was known for his ability to connect with people from all walks of life. His sermons were not just words, but messages that resonated deeply with his congregation. He had a unique ability to make everyone feel seen and heard, a trait that would serve him well in his future roles. From Bishop of Imus to Archbishop of Manila, he served with distinction. His leadership was marked by a deep sense of humility and a commitment to social justice. He was not just a religious leader, but a beacon of hope for many. His work extended beyond the church walls as he actively engaged with the community, addressing issues of poverty, inequality, and human rights. His efforts were recognized not just locally, but globally, as he became a voice for the marginalized and the oppressed. His elevation to cardinal in 2012 was a testament to his growing stature within the Church. This significant milestone was not just a personal achievement, but a moment of pride for the entire Filipino community. As a cardinal, he continued to advocate for the poor and the vulnerable, bringing their stories to the global stage. His work at the Vatican further solidified his reputation as a compassionate and forward-thinking leader. Today, Cardinal Tagle remains a symbol of faith, resilience, and hope, inspiring countless individuals around the world. A shepherd close to the flock. Cardinal Tagle embodied the spirit of Pope Francis. He too believed in a church that was close to the people, a church that listened and served. He spoke out against poverty and corruption in his homeland. He championed the rights of migrants and the marginalized. He understood the struggles of ordinary people because he had never forgotten his own roots. The world watches in awe. The eyes of the world turn to Rome. The papal transition ceremony was a moment etched in history. The weight of tradition, the solemnity of the occasion was palpable. As Pope Francis bestowed the papal pallium upon Pope Tagle, a wave of emotion swept through St. Peter's Square. It was the passing of the torch, the beginning of a new era. A new chapter for the faithful. Pope Tagle's first words were soft yet powerful. He spoke of unity, of hope, of a church that embraced all. He challenged the faithful to live out their faith with courage and compassion. He reminded the world that the church was not a building but a community called to love and serve, a papacy of hope and compassion. As the sun set on that historic day, a sense of optimism filled the air. The golden hues of the sunset bathed St. Peter's Basilica in a warm, ethereal glow, symbolizing a new dawn for the Catholic Church. The faithful gathered in the square, their faces illuminated by the fading light, reflecting a collective hope for the future. It was a moment of profound significance, marking the beginning of a new chapter in the Church's long and storied history. Pope Tagle's papacy promised to be one of continuity and change. As he waved to the crowd, his hopeful expression conveyed a message of unity and renewal. The people saw in him a leader who would bridge the past and the future, honoring the traditions of the Church while embracing the need for progress and reform. His election was a clear signal that the Church was ready to move forward, addressing the challenges of the modern world with a spirit of openness and inclusivity. He would build upon the foundation laid by Pope Francis, continuing his work of reform and renewal. Pope Tagle's vision for the Church was one of transformation, rooted in the principles of compassion, justice, and mercy. He understood that true change required not only structural reforms, but also a shift in the hearts and minds of the faithful. By engaging with community members and addressing their concerns, he demonstrated a commitment to listening and learning, fostering a sense of belonging and participation within the Church. He would lead the Church with humility, compassion, and a deep commitment to social justice. His visits to homeless shelters and his interactions with the marginalized were not mere gestures, but a reflection of his genuine concern for the least among us. Pope Tagle's actions spoke louder than words, embodying the teachings of Christ and inspiring others to follow his example. His papacy was characterized by a hands-on approach, where he sought to be present in the lives of those who needed it most, offering comfort, hope, and a sense of dignity. His papacy was a beacon of hope, a testament to the enduring power of faith, and a promise of a brighter future for the Church and the world. With arms raised in blessing, Pope Tagle symbolized the Church's mission to be a source of light and love in a world often overshadowed by darkness and division. Surrounded by a diverse group of people, all smiling and united in their faith, he embodied the universal nature of the Church and its call to serve all humanity. His leadership was a reminder that, despite the challenges and uncertainties of our time, the message of hope and compassion remains as relevant and powerful as ever. Please subscribe to our channel History Documentary Hub for more insightful videos and intriguing content.